And so another one. This is not related to anything else. Well, kinda. You are also like an ultra marathon runner, right?
Yeah, guilty as charged. Kind of a crazy person.
Yeah, I mean, I saw. Was it last year or something? You ran what 100 miler or something? Is that right?
Yeah. So, I always joke and I say, well, I wasn't much of a runner, but then went to grad school and the local beer market had a 5K every Monday. And heck yeah, I could do 3 miles for a pint of beer. But as I moved out west and kind of got on the trails, I really dove a little bit deeper into really kind of enjoying running and out on the trails. And so this kind of built as I ran a marathon um, and 50-mile races that I've kind of stepped up and really am enjoying the 100-mile race distance. And so, I got a couple 100 milers under my belt. Definitely looking forward to doing more than in 2023. And so, that's not just on race day and being out and running upwards of 24 hours, 100 miles in that time, but all the training that kind of goes into it. And I really love the community of ultra runners, trail runners, very unique in being able to jump into a race, wherever I go and automatically having community and people that
Mm.
are there to help you out all day long. And then you're out on those races and you see people out at the aid stations and you're running with them all day. And you get such a great camaraderie with that network and that community that's out there. And I think for me, I definitely enjoy that. But one of the unique things that kind of ties back into my desire and want to be an advocate for agriculture and specifically like the role of beef in a healthy and balanced diet is that, I'm living those things. I'm showing how, I can eat beef as part of my diet and a large part of my diet and be able to perform well. I've got top 10, top 20 finishes in the 100-mile races that I've done, and I've been fairly competitive at it. And I hope that I can continue to do better. But recognizing a lot of those athletes hear a lot of narrative about how we should remove beef from our diet, we should remove meats altogether and animal proteins altogether from our diets in order to perform well. And that's kind of how I counter that is I bring my experiences as a farmer, as a rancher, and as a beef eater to those races. And so when I'm running and I've got a beef jersey on, I've had conversations with people I'm out there with all day, or I see at several different races, and it never fails when they find out that I raise cattle. They are super excited because they have all kinds of questions to ask about food and farming, and that's a really unique opportunity, I think, that I really enjoy to combine the two passions: my love for farming and beef and cattle, but also love that I have for running and in those endurance events. So, I'd be out there for 20 plus hours, covering 100 miles and being competitive at it. But I also love being able to connect with that community as well.
That's a lot of miles, and yeah, that's so cool because, like, I mean, like you're saying, so many people are now like, oh, we can be high performing athletes, but we just don't need animal protein. But here you are running hundreds of miles, like you said, top five, top 10 finishes, and you're like, no, I'm doing it with animal protein. Here's how I'm doing it. Here's why it's a good idea. They're like, oh, okay, cool, that's awesome. So I mean, you're not only representing runners, you're also representing eating beef and beef ranchers and a whole industry. So you've got a lot on your shoulders, really.
Yeah. So I got 20 plus hours to think about it all. So
Oh
I
yeah,
guess I
true.
can cover a lot. But running even like 40, 50 miles a week or more at peak times, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of dedication to kind of structuring the time and being able to get that all done. But yeah, a crazy runner. But I think running 100 miles is quite the endurance challenge. You don't get that physical challenge
Mm.
it, that often, in today in modern life where we've got so many conveniences. And so it's kind of a good creative outlet for me. Yeah, I'll admit I've got my crazy, but I say everybody's got their crazy. This one just happens to be mine.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, what's your thing? Do you listen to music, podcasts, or do you meditate kind of when you're running? What kind of keeps you running for those 100 miles?
Yeah, my training miles during the week. So, mix of like treadmill or on the road or out on the trails some. A lot of times I'll put my headphones on and I'll be listening to podcasts, audiobooks, a lot of audiobooks and
Mm,
kind of continue that learning process. Or a lot of the podcasts that are hearing like other people's running stories and adventures. That's kind of a cool way to pass the time. But
hmm.
during races, usually, especially when I'm out on the trails, I don't wear any headphones. One, because when you're out on the trails, you kind of need to be attentive to everything that's going on. But I also enjoy the conversations that happen throughout the day.
Mm.
So I kind of really want to be attentive to who I'm around and who that opportunity exists to kind of connect with while I'm out on the race. And so that's kind of cool to have that. that opportunity when I've met people from coast to coast and all around the globe in different races and get to hear their experiences. And that's just a really kind of a cool way to connect with other people.
I bet that is fun. And I mean, I'm sure it's not very easy to have those conversations after mile, I don't know, 50 or 60 maybe.
Uh, I think it's even more important to have those conversations after mile 50 or 60. So you can kind of not just focus on maybe the pain that you're having and sore muscles and exhaustion and fatigue, but be able to kind of have that camaraderie and share that experience with other people. And there's a lot of motivation that comes along when you're running with somebody else and you're both in the same state and both struggling, because you've had, the same number of miles behind you. That I think that's even where those conversations even become more important.
I bet, yeah, that's what keeps you going. So I have been needing to work out and be healthier and be more active. So 2023, I think I've said this for like 3 years in a row, but I'm going to actually try to do it. Be more active, run some more. What advice would you give for somebody that wants to run? I just bought some On Clouds. I'm super excited. They're super, super soft. Might run and jog in them. So what kind of advice would you give for anybody that might want to get into running, yet alone like distance running?
Yeah, I love it. First, and I think we're all guilty of this, right? January 1 is getting near. And so we were like, all right, what are my resolutions? What am
Oh,
I going to
yeah,
do
yeah.
different? I'm going to get started and get on my fitness journey so I can get rid of that holiday weight, right?
Mhm.
Um, but I think running is one of the things that really um, got me into the new routines and really got me into enjoying running was defining that community or finding a way to
Mm,
make it joyful for me. For me, that was finding opportunities to jump into a couple of team relays, and we did Ragnar relays or did a couple of relays where it's a team effort, it's a team opportunity for to kind of get out there and be part of the effort and know that you've got other people that have expectations that you perform as well. So you've got other people that are kind of there for accountability, and I think that was a key. Accountability, but also people there that you can enjoy the experience with, and I think that was really important. But also find ways to make it enjoyable. It's not a chore, and I think a lot of it, and that's one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten into all day endurance events. Huge part of it is mindset. And so it's not, I have to run or, oh, this hurts or, oh my
mm,
goodness, I've got 3 miles. It's so far. Find ways to make that a mental challenge that you can accomplish and celebrate those accomplishments. And so for me, when I'm out there in a 100-mile race, like, oh my goodness, 100 miles, that is so far. Well, I break it up from aid station to aid station. I
mm,
break it into smaller chunks that I know I can accomplish, and I've got a goal that's near to shoot for. So is that the number of minutes or number of miles or tenths of mile that you can shoot for? And I think that can be really important. So maybe it's as you're getting into that routine, and to make it a routine, go out there and shoot for, okay, I'm going to run for a tenth of a mile and walk a tenth. And how can you focus on that and slowly building that up? That's really important, in being able to do that. So break it up into smaller chunks. And I think the final thing that I found that was really important is that accountability aspect. And
mm.
so sharing your goals, sharing your aspirations online for the public to see, that's daunting, right? That's intimidating to share. Here's my big hairy goal that I have, my big lofty goal that I have. But if you share that out into the world on social media or whatever it might be, find yourself some accountability partners who will hold you to those goals and check in with you as you go about on your journey. And I think that's key. So when you get into these fitness journeys, these fitness resolutions around the first of the year, don't think about it as like this is my goal, but it's a lifestyle change. And so how can you make that a journey that you enjoy and break it into smaller chunks and smaller pieces that you can accomplish, and find those people who can hold you accountable and make it enjoyable.